Welcome back, everybody. Silas here today. I think this may be the last day that I crush cars out here. I think we're finally to the end. We processed the last of the cars this morning. They're all stacked up back here behind me and around me, around the crusher. Got some of that road right there, I think. Well, I take that back. There's one more up front that we're pulling the doors off of. But then after that, it's all ready to go. I don't really have a whole lot to say, so I'm just going to go ahead and fire the crusher up. We're going to get busy crushing. Now, many of you ask why I push the doors in when I crush these cars, and the reason is because if I don't, they bow out instead of in, and it makes the bundles a lot wider, and they don't slide in the dumpsters as good, and if I load them on flatbeds, they look really ugly, and so I push them like that to make the bundles look a little bit cleaner and load a little bit easier. Well, this is the last car. We got everything else crushed. We crushed 48 cars today, not counting, well, no, 47 cars today, not counting this one right here. And I say this is the last car, but it's actually not the last car. I need to find one more car to finish on top of this to make it a top bundle. And then also I have one more vehicle. It's probably in the thumbnail. You already know what it is. We're going to get to that here in just a little bit. All right, I found another late model vehicle, crushed it in there on top of that, whatever that was, HHR I think it was. Anyway, got that done. I have a few late model cars left scattered around, like there's an Altima over there. I've got a couple out back. I've got another one over there. There's kind of scattered around, probably 5 or 6 vehicles, but I have a bunch of piles, just miscellaneous scrap all scattered around through the trees. So I wanted to keep a few cars around. That way later on, when I have a little bit more time, I can drive around and clean those spots up using those cars. So I didn't want to crush everything. But we have 21 loads on the ground now. 400 and I'd have to check and see, 460 cars total that we crushed out of here, something like that. But now, last but not least, we are going to crush this armored van. This thing here, the motor was good. No, the motor was bad. That's right. The motor was bad. The transmission was good, and so the transmission's gone out of it. Converters are gone out of it when I got it. It's pretty much ready to crush. Battery's gone. Let's check inside it. So this is what an armored van is, for those that aren't aware. It's got real heavy duty latches on it because the regular latches just rip apart. But it's got real heavy duty steel plating inside the doors. Up in here it's got steel plating all up in this. It's got bulletproof glass on it. You can see how thick that is. That's solid glass all the way out. If your air conditioning doesn't work, you just cook. If you look inside it, it's got bulletproof windshield in it, real thick glass all the way around. It's got, I assume it's got steel plating in the roof too. That's one thing I've never actually checked on an armor van. Yeah, it's got steel plating up there. I don't think the floors have any extra plating in them. I don't think they do. Now the gas tank does. The gas tank has super thick plating over it. Unfortunately, I cannot get inside here. It's all locked up, but it's got the little ports right here, little gun ports, whatever you want to call them. But there's a little room in here. I don't know if you can kind of see in there a little bit. I'm trying to do the best I can, but you can kind of see in there. There's enough room for probably a few people in there if you needed to, but usually what they would put in here, I assume, is like boxes of whatever it may be. I really don't know what they carried in this van because it's got multiple safes on it, multiple rooms on it. Then it's got this little safe here. Once again, I have no clue what's behind this door. This is some sort of little drop box where they could put stuff in there real quick. And then at the back of it, the back doors used to open. Nope. They're messed up now too. Somebody went through and locked it and took the keys, so I have no clue. I can't open it. But when you open these doors here, there's a safe door right there, and then inside that safe you could put more. So I assume they would lock up the really valuable stuff like the cash, the bags of cash and whatnot inside the safes. And then that middle compartment room, I'm not sure what they put in there unless they were hauling larger but valuable items. I'm assuming. I really don't know. Now, I have crushed an armored van in the past, but it was a lot older than this and it was a lot rustier than this. And if I can find footage of that, I'll go ahead and play that now. Now that footage was really old and I took that on who knows what. I probably had a potato for a cell phone at that point in time. So it's really bad footage, but it kind of gives you an idea of what it did. And it wasn't built nearly as tough as this van. So I'm really curious if this van is going to crush or not. It did have 2 brand new tires on the back of it. I did sell those, but other than that, and the transmission and the catalytic converters, this van is complete. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I just realized there's no bulletproofing in front of the radiator. So if you wanted to disable this van right through the grill, that's like the local SWAT team or whatever you want to call it. They bought some fancy military style, I don't even know what you want to call it, but troop carrier, troop transport, where they could drop the SWAT team off, and it's all bulletproofed out and everything, but it sits up real high. And if you look through, it's either the passenger side or the driver's side, but look right through between the body and the frame and the tire, the oil filter is just right there, plain as day. I mean, anybody with even halfway decent aim could knock the oil filter out. All the oil is going to dump out on the ground, and then you're going to have a blown engine in a matter of no time. But I don't know, just little design flaws that somebody looks over. But anyway, it is time to crush this thing. Put your comments in the comment section now whether or not you think it's going to crush. Me personally, I think it's going to crush just because that old one crushed. Although, like I say, this one's a lot newer, and the one I crushed before was wide open inside. It didn't have the little miniature safes around it and the extra walls and stuff. So there's a possibility this may not crush. Now I'm thinking that it's going to take multiple crushes to crush. I'm going to have to rock the crusher. I'm going to have to do all sorts of different things to get it to flatten all the way. And even then, it's probably not going to flatten all the way. This thing is very heavy. It probably weighs 5 tons at least. So this will be a bundle by itself. So it only partially crushes, or even if it doesn't crush at all, it's heavy enough to where I can just go ahead and send it just like it is. The crusher puts out 2,400 psi, so I think it can get the job done. I've crushed a lot of old tankers off of old tank trucks, and they always put up a fight, but they always crush eventually. So that's enough talking. Let's stick it in the crusher and let's see what happens. Well, because I'm special, I had my camera set to photo instead of record video. Now, I did have a crusher point of view with the GoPro, and then I had my other phone recording. I was going to make a reel out of that footage, but I guess I'll go ahead and have to use that footage in this video because I don't know. I can't believe I did that. That's the second time I've done that. About 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, something like that, I crushed a skid steer, and I made this big video all about what happens when you crush a skid steer. And then unfortunately, same thing happened, only that time I didn't have any backup cameras. I had 3 cameras, and all 3 of them, one of them corrupted the footage, one of them I must have hit photo instead of record video, and then the other one I just flat out forgot about. So that was a horrible day there. At least this one here, I got 2 cameras worth of footage. I was really hoping to have this one here from just a straight on point of view, but it is what it is. You can't win them all. I guess I'm going to roll on. Now, it did kind of bow out of the crusher a little bit. As you can see here, it's sticking out of the crusher a tiny bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it up on its side, crush it again a little bit, and then roll it back down and crush it flat one more time. And I did hit record video this time. There we go. That got it pretty good. It's still a little bit wider than what I would want it to be, but it wasn't sticking out of the crusher, so that means they will fit inside the trailers. The windshield fell out inside the crusher. It's a heavy-duty windshield, and actually, when I poked on the window on the other side, I just wanted to see what would happen. And at first I thought, you know, it might just kind of chip it a little bit, nothing's going to happen. But then all of a sudden, when it catastrophically failed, it just fell right through. So these aren't really made to stop force like that, or like even like the crusher, stuff like that. They're made to stop high velocity, small projectiles. Yeah, it crushed pretty flat. This is all the flatter it wants to go. I could have rocked it and got a little bit more out of it, but I didn't see a whole lot of reason to. It's pretty flat and it's super heavy for the size that it is, so it'll work out good. Well, we can see inside it a little bit better now. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see in there a little bit. So I guess there's a big room in there. That's interesting. Huh, yeah, that's definitely interesting. There's a lot more room in there than what I thought there was. So I wasn't expecting that. That's kind of crazy. But at least that answers the question of whether or not there was anything in it, because part of my brain was thinking, you probably should have found a way to get that open just to make sure there was nothing in there. But there was nothing in there. You can see all this steel plate in here. It's not going to stop heavy duty piercing rounds, but it would stop just handguns, light duty rifles, things like that. But there it is, all crushed nice and flat, ready to ship to the shredder. When they drop this in the shredder, it'll go right through there, no problem. They shred way heavier stuff than that all the time. So that was a lot of fun. It actually crushed way easier than what I was expecting. I was not expecting it to crush quite that easy. I thought I was going to have to rock it, but I didn't. But that is officially the last vehicle that I'm going to crush out here. I do have a crew cab up front that I got to cut the rear end out of, and I'm just going to smash the roof in because it won't fit in the crusher. But other than that, I don't plan on crushing any more cars at this point in time. Hopefully next week sometime the crusher will leave and then it'll be gone. Then I can get in here and tear out that trailer house, make a little bit more room, because I crushed almost 500 cars out of here and I really don't have that much more room than what I used to. I need to come in here, do a bunch of tree work, things like that. But all of that is going to be in future videos, so that's all for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please have mercy and pity upon me, considering my camera failed, and give this video a thumbs up anyway. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you for all your support. Until the next video, remember to get out there and find an adventure. We'll see you next time.